guys. So let me get right here to the point here. I just want to have a family calls tonight. Going to be a little bit different. But we're coming up into a new month, March, and guys, there is some reality checks that I think, and maybe some wake up calls that we all probably need to a little bit know about. I think we've been hearing in the news as far as what's going on with this the new administration. But me as a financial educator, as your financial consultant, your financial advisor, I just want to tell you just some of the stories that I'm hearing now about some of the things that's just automatically being impacted by the Trump administration when it comes to people own personal finances. And so it could happen to you. And so when we hear about these different stories, I want to be able to give you a wake up call or reality check to realize that we're going into a different month and we got to be moving a little bit different than maybe what we've currently been doing. Because under this Trump administration, I always tell you, there's something called DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Him and Elon Musk are certainly definitely looking to cut spending, unnecessary spending where it may be happening, not only just in the government, but it may be could be impacting your particular jobs. And so, just want to share some stories here with you. Just for an example, just last night, spoke with a 48-year-old young lady out of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia in particular. Went to the military with her, and the Air Force met her. Matter of fact, we got the same birthday, and she's 5 years older than me. But she told me last night that she was a federal government contractor. So she wasn't necessarily a federal employee, but she was a federal government contractor. And she lost her job. And so her last paycheck was just this week. And she said, sure, when I got $70,000 inside of my 401k account, I got $30,000 between sitting in cash and just another investment account. And her question to me was, if I haven't found a new job, uh, what should I use first? Should I use my retirement money, or should I use the start using the credit cards? And so, this is a question that I'm like, man, this is a big reality check. If the money that she runs out on the $30,000 and she do not have a job, she do not find a job by then, do she use her credit cards or does she use her retirement account? And I went back and we just kind of went through the bills and I asked her, I said, well, how much is your car note? Guys, her car note was $1,200 a month. That's the reality. Let me repeat that again. It's $1,200 a month. That's the reality. What we're currently living in is, we're paying more for our cars than we're actually paying for our future selves. And so, she just bought the car, so I know it's on a high interest rate. So I just kind of, reached out to her, gave her my advice, and realizing that she does have a part-time job, so she can't necessarily get unemployment, so she's kind of stuck in a pickle here as far as even getting additional income with unemployment because she's still working. So scenarios like that under this Trump administration where they're looking to cut government spending or just cut spending period, she was a federal government contractor and her job was impacted by that. And so I think it's as we go into March, I said on the WhatsApp group that it's very important. As Shanice says, what type of car does she have? She actually here she got a Mercedes SUV truck. That's the problem. We living above our means. So as we go in March, I'm gonna show towards the end here tonight, man. In the WhatsApp group, I told them, I said, hey, look, we got to be able to account for every dollar that comes in for March, and we got to account for every dollar that we spend in March because guys, this thing is getting ready to get real. I mean, we kind of know who Trump is, from a racist standpoint, but taking away DEI. But man, it could be literally impacting your finances if you're not careful on the way that you're starting to spend your money. And I would just say, man, cautiously, starting in March, man, you got to be able to be moving a little bit different. Um, so that was very, very impactful when this young lady told me this here. And just another story here today. Uh, LesWin financial member, share here with me. Live in the Midwest. She works for the government. Her husband works for the government. And one thing what the government is doing is anybody that's in a probationary period, they're really just letting them go. And this young lady right here, she shared with me that her husband and her son is in a probationary period, So if they're not have gotten let go, it's going to be here soon. And so here they just moved to the Midwest specifically for her husband, as his job was in the Midwest. He had to report into office, and she works from home. It's things like this here. You have a income where, okay, your budget may be dependent on two incomes incoming in, and now one of the incomes is going. How do you prepare for that to pay for the bills on one income? Thankfully, this particular family here was able to sell a property and have a good nest egg when it comes to savings to spare them. But where do you go find another job with good benefits, as maybe as the husband had? So you just kind of pivot, adjust, and move, right? So maybe the husband don't find a job within the next month or 2 months, and how do you adjust for that? Do you keep spending the same way when you had two incomes? That's a lot of times what people do, and then they just get into further into credit card debt, and then further start pulling from the retirement accounts. And guys, when you start pulling from your retirement accounts, if you're not age 59 and a half, you're going to be taxed on your whatever your marginal income tax rate is for that particular year, and you're gonna be penalized 10%. So let's say, for instance, you had $100,000 in your retirement account and you pulled 10,000 from it, and you was in a 22% tax bracket. You're gonna get hit. Say you want to pull 10,000, you're gonna get taxed and penalized a total of $3,200 out of that 10,000 withdrawal out of that $100,000 balance, simply because 10% of it is going to go towards you being penalized because you're under 59 and a half, and then 22% you're going to get hit on the tax. So what I'm telling you guys tonight is, in this Trump administration, guys, get real. Start saving more than you've ever been. Start, man, this Uber Eats, these Door Dashes, like literally, I talk about it like just literally, but you got to start watching it in March, because you might be the next victim where you may not have a job. I mean, I'm looking at, even Department of Education. They're looking at privatizing that. How does that impact teachers potentially, right? You want to be in a position, if your job, if AI can take over, if any robots can take over your job, you might want to be in position to make yourself more marketable, update that resume. And this is nothing to scare anyone, but I want you guys to be prepared. You hear me a lot of times say one income is just too risky. That's why I always speak of having multiple streams of income. So in the event of one income goes away, then now you still have other incomes that can maybe supplement some of the income that you lost on the first job loss, right? Another phone call I had today, man, and the reason why, this brother right here, he's 36. He's a little bit different than most people on this particular call, because we go to a job every day, working a 9 to 5 job. But this brother and his wife, they're 36, and he has a very unique business where he produces software for funeral homes. And very profitable business. This guy here, his business brings in $60,000 a month. He has 12 employees, and we went over some estimated numbers this week. Out of that $60,000 that his business brings in, by the time that he pays all employees, by the time he pay all business expenses, the last 2 months he've had $30,000 left over. I mean, this is even including paying his own salary. So now he's looking at a point to say, "Hey, Sherwin, how do we take advantage of this $30,000?" And I save it, some of it for my business, but more importantly, man, I'm 36 with a family of four, getting ready to have the fifth kid. I don't even have $1,000 in my emergency fund, because previously months they've been struggling with some of the business expenses, but revenue has been increasing, and cut some business expenses. So I'm looking at this 36-year-old man. He's saying on the average the last 2 months it's been $30,000 left over after he paid all bills. And he say, just conservative, let's plan for 25,000. What do we do with that? But I went and showed you, and I just told you, this 48-year-old person only got $70,000 in her retirement program. So I'm looking at this 36-year-old. How can I teach him to avoid having only $70,000 in his retirement program or retirement plan at the age of 48? See, that's the thing what I do here, right? And you guys speak to me on a one-on-one basis. Everybody Pacific situation is very, very unique. But I like to have this particular call and setting just to share different stories that may wake you up or make you realize that I might be in that same situation with that 48-year-old where she has $70,000 and she don't really have a job as far as what she's going to continue contributing towards that retirement. What does 55 look like for her? What does 60 look like for her, right? If she have to pull from this retirement program. So I look at this brother right here and I told him and his wife, if you guys are, $30,000 left over after all business expenses, I said, man, give me 6 years, man. You guys gonna be done the Dumb and Comma Club because here's what we're doing for him. Currently, right about now, what he do is he just take this money that he make from his business account and whatever he don't use, he transfers some over to his personal account, and then that's how they live, and that's pretty much how he pay himself as a salary. That's not the way to go about it. So basically what I've done is connected him with my wife and her CPA firm. And we're going to treat it to whereas this brother here now he pays into Social Security. So when he get age of 62, he'll be able to get a Social Security check, even though he owned the business. He'll be able to pay into Medicare. So when he turns 65, if he need to get some Medicare, boom, he can do that. Currently, right now, he don't do that. Most importantly, we're gonna set up a solo 401k for him. That's basically if you have a business, you can set up what we call as a solo 401k account. We're gonna set up IRAs for him. His wife gonna have a solo 401k. His kids, two of them are like age appropriate to work in the business. We're gonna set them up where the kids are employees in the business, and now he pays them, and now he gonna get a tax deduction. Now he gonna open up a Roth IRA because now the kids are going to have earned income. See, these are the things, so guys, when you take a young guy like this right here, he is not afraid to take a risk and he's looking up open future businesses in the future. And the thing is the reason why that his income is able to be a little bit different is because this guy right here, he don't mind being uncomfortable. See, we go to work, we go to our jobs, our 9 to 5, we sit there for 8 hours, and we have to ask the supervisor, can we take leave? Or we have to ask the supervisor, can we take sick leave? And then this brother right here, he running his own company, 36, go good old country boy. Good old country boy. But this business right around here, man, can really change his life and his trajectory at a very early age. And guess what? He don't have no PhD degree. He don't even have a master's degree. I don't even think this brother got a bachelor's degree. But what he did is he took a chance. And when he took that chance, he took a calculated risk and he found out a niche to where he can earn a lot of revenue. But right about now, with most African Americans, we know how to make money, but we don't know how to multiply it. And most importantly, don't even know how to manage it. And that's where he's at right about now. And that's where he come to me to say, hey, look, man, I need to learn how to manage my money. I want to learn how to multiply my money. And most importantly, I want to learn how to protect that money. And we discussed that yesterday as well, as setting up a trust. Because most importantly for him, he has a daughter. He has a child outside of him and his wife marriage. And so he has his booming business. And so, hey, what happens in the event something passes, he passes away, and he just don't have his wife and kids, but he has a child outside of the marriage. Now the child will be entitled to if the business keep running, the wife will keep running the business. But that's why they need to set up a trust because now he can set up within his trust, right? How much percentage of the business that the daughter outside of the marriage would be entitled to. These are special things that you can put, but we as African Americans, we get our income tax check. I just spoke to another chick in Louisiana, $9,000 income tax refund coming in today. So do we have a plan for it? I'm gonna pay, catch up on some bills, pay a little debt, all right? But we gonna go shopping and we gonna take that, we gonna go on that trip. We definitely gonna do that. You guys have heard me say this before. Take care of the business first before you actually go and take care of the pleasure. So we're gonna help this brother out here. He's in Alabama, and so proud of him and what he's doing. Got another good brother. Today, I've been telling you guys, with the Trump administration, what's going on. We're seeing a bunch of tariffs going on with taxes. So you're starting to see your investment accounts, a lot of red. But I said on the WhatsApp group, I said on the Facebook group, it's a great buying opportunity. So this is brother right here. He's one of the ones in this financial community, probably with the most assets, right? a lot of homes, a lot of money in cash, infidelity. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So you guys hear me talk about oftentimes cash management on fidelity. It's like a savings account, but it pays better than a savings account. It pays 4%. So this particular brother said, "Hey, Sherwin, I got this money I want to put in this cash management account. I want to continue to keep buying houses, but while the market is interest rates are high, I want to have this money just sitting right here earning interest. And when I'm ready to buy a house, I can just quickly tap into that and ready to buy the next house." So we took advantage of QQQ today. QQQ was down 2.5%. I'm sorry, 2.7%, because he got investment accounts for himself, also for his kids. And I'm seeing the returns on his kids has made since I've been working with him. I'm like, man, this is crazy. And I want you guys to let you know it's a cheat code. When you got a financial advisor that's going to be watching the markets and telling you to manage it, help you manage it. Some of you guys aren't managing it like him. It's a cheat code, because if you go back and you've been with me 3+ years, you've made a lot of money, right? But let me just tell you, this guy here has $700,000 in that cash management account. And so every single month on $700,000, if you have 4% APY throughout the year, right? He makes $2,400 every single month off that $700,000, right? And oftentimes that's good money, because guess what? That's the best dollar that you can earn, because you didn't trade time or have to drive into anybody's job or ask the supervisor, can you take leave to make that $2,400, right? And the reason why this young man was able to do this, he's a very young man, is because he took a chance. He owned a real estate company, right? He took a chance. So that's what I'm gonna encourage you guys to do in March as well, right? To not only just go to that 9 to 5 job, but start looking at opportunities where you just don't necessarily have one income. Start looking at ways to where you can start making additional money. All right. So he took advantage of opportunities today where the market was down. All right. I often tell you guys too, right? This other unique client that I have, which is a college, high profile college athlete at a very high profile university. Finished in top 10 college football, Division I school. The team did, and this young man here has aspirations to go to the NFL. I firmly believe that he's going to make it to the NFL. Speak to his mom weekly. We go over the plan. Matter of fact, I was just talking to her yesterday, and and sometimes it's hard to get connected to him because he's always at the university. I'm like, well, how you realize that he at the university all the time? She said, baby, she said, I got a location on him. He just 21. I need to be local. I need to know where every step where he's going. I'm like, wow. And I'm like, this is a high profile college athlete, and your mama watching you everywhere you go. I was like, she's like that. She said, if I don't know where he's at, I'm calling his coach. But the thing is this kid here, you guys have heard me say this before. He's making $400,000 alone just this year. If he continue to keep selling the way he did last year, he's going to get more money next year in NIL deals, or if not, he's going to be going to the NFL. He got the size, he got the speed, and what this kid is, he stay at this university. When I say stay at the university, I mean as far as in the weight room, studying. He's just in a, what you call a Mamba mentality. That's what Kobe Bryant. That's how he was able to be successful on the court, and him particular with Michael Jordan. They didn't really care about, anything else outside other than what their craft was. And so this is where this young kid is at now, right? He's like just all in, like just on getting to the next level. But what most important, his family understands that they've never had money before, and they don't want him to be another story to where he didn't take advantage of his particular finances. It's a lot of money. He get $33,000 every single month. Matter of fact, tomorrow, right? They're gonna probably pay him a day in advance, but he gonna get that $33,000 deposited into his account. But let me show you guys some wealth strategy planners, right? As far as how in his particular situation, how we're changing his financial trajectory, right? So he had a personal checking account. And these boosters was paying him $33,000 and putting it in his personal checking account. So after meeting with his mom and his family, here's what we have done. We've set him up with a business, and he's now registered that business in the state of Florida because he's from Florida, but even though he's in the Midwest at a big time university. So he already got his business name picked out, is now registered and with the state of Florida through SunBiz. And this week we was able to finalize and open up the business banking account in his business name that's registered in Florida. So now we're contacting the boosters and we're telling them now instead of putting that money into his personal checking account, we want that $33,000 every single month to be going into his business account. There's a reason why we want to go into the business account because he was already giving his mom a certain amount of money per month. But what we've been able to do is make the mom now his personal consultant. So now she's an employee for his business. So whatever he's paying his mom on a monthly basis, that number that we've set, right? That's now a tax write-off. His dad is also, he was given some money. We've also made his dad an employee in the business. So whatever he's paying his dad now, that's also a tax write-off for him. I grew up with his uncle in high school, and that was one of the ways to how we kind of bridged this together. So he gave his uncle some said monies this year, and if you plan to give him to some in the future, he's also an employee in his business. And so we've made these his mom, his dad, and his uncle three employees that's in his business. That if he gave them money, all of these things he's going to give him money anyways, right? But why not make it a tax deduction for him? Every time this kid travel home now to see his family, guess what that is? It's a tax deduction when he get on a plane. His cell phone that he uses now, right? It's geared towards his business. That's going to also be a tax write-off for him. Anytime maybe he want to go and speak with the boosters and they take him out to dinner or any type of business function that he have when he go out to eat, right here in 2025 business meals, it's a 50% tax deduction. And so now we're teaching him how to run everything through this particular business. And what this does is Leslie and her firm has set it up to where the money that's the $33,000, a portion of it will go to Social Security, a portion of it will go to Medicare, a portion of it will go to his solo 401k where we max that out. So if you got a 401k account in 2025, you can max out at 23,500. We have to do that for him in order to lower his taxable income. So make a long story short, out of that $400,000 that he will be making this year from these particular boosters that's paying him, guys, this is a very amazing stat. When I told his mom this, man, I mean, I just kind of saw her pause for a minute. But out of this $400,000 that he's getting this year, he's only going to be paying taxes on $40,000 of it. Guys, that's powerful. That is powerful, and a lot of that is behind my wife as far as the tax strategies that she've set up for him, and then where I come in is the wealth strategies and able to grow and set him up in this first year to where the things that we're doing in that very first year is going to be able to set him up for a very, very long time. And I honestly believe that this might be one of his lowest paying years in his young future. So next year, if he go back to college, he could have got paid $600,000 this year, but he left $200,000 on the table. I believe next year could be another $600,000, maybe a $600,000 a year for him. If he do decide to go to the NFL, now we're talking over $1 million plus per year. And so I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to start getting in this particular space and being able to help him because there's so many stories where I hear athletes saying, "Man, you know what? We're making a lot of money, but people don't realize the taxes that we pay." See, my thing is if you get around the right room in the right circle and you have a tax plan, it don't matter how much money you make, as long as you got your money sheltered in these tax advantages plans, right? You don't have to pay as much taxes on this wealth that you make because if you got a good tax plan. I heard Cam Newton say that the other day. People, he said, "Man, I made millions of dollars." And people don't realize the taxes that I pay. And I just told you, this young man here is making $400,000 and only paying $40,000 on tax on that $400,000 that he's making this year. So we setting up investment accounts for him, setting up savings accounts, setting up Roth IRAs. And here's the crazy thing about this, right? And I love this kid because he's humble. He made some mistakes, and I'm gonna share that with you in a few minutes. He's made some mistakes, but I have this young man here, this 21-year-old man. I have him on that $33,000 that he made. He's on a $2,800 budget. So he got free reigns because all his bills is automatic. But he got free reign to spend $2,800 every month on whatever he want to spend on. But everything else is automatic. And so $2,800 is still to me when your car payment is automatic, that's paid for, your rent, all these this other bills that he have, right? We're taking care of all that on the automatics, and he's gonna have $2,800 to spend on whatever he want to spend. Now he got a girlfriend, and he bought a BMW as well. And so that was one of the things he bought before he met with me. And I didn't necessarily, I saw it, saw the car contract. You know, it was $100,000 BMW car, M4. First month, one of the checks he got, he literally put the first check on a down payment on the car. And ladies and gentlemen, just like I shared here with you on that 48-year-old female, man, that car payment was $1,200. Guys, a car is a depreciating asset. It's an asset because we need to drive it, but from the point of time that you drive it off the lot, we all know it depreciates over time. I do not understand for the life of me why we put so much inventory and dollars towards a car payment. I get it, interest rates are high, but sometimes we don't have to drive the BMW truck. Sometimes we don't have to drive the Mercedes truck. And I was telling this young lady with this $1,200 payment on a monthly basis, you just bought it. You might not be that upside down. We need to go take it back to CarMax, or we need to take it back to the Mercedes dealership and see what they're going to offer for it, and have them buy it back. And then we need to be looking at a Honda Accord, right? And she didn't mind. She said, Sherwin, at this particular point, I know I need some lifestyle changes, right? And that's the reality check. That's what we're currently in. That's where you're at. If you feel like money is already tight, imagine if you didn't have a job that was being able to pay for some of the bills that you have, money would really be tight. So that's why I'm encouraging you guys. And I say this is a family meeting tonight. That now that we getting ready to go into March, right? March is starting in Saturday. And so you got to be able to say, man, do I know how much money I'm going to have coming in March? And then how much money I'm expected to spend in March. And so I just would encourage you guys to know what's incoming and what's outgoing. And I want to share here with you, right? I sent a lot of people this budget spreadsheet here, but I use it and I think it's really good. I want to open up and share it here with you. So you guys have my number when I share this here with you. If you don't have this and you want to set this here for March and do this, I will highly encourage you here. So I just sent a bunch of people this particular budget spreadsheet here that you will be able to see right here. All right, it's called your personal budget. And so you will see here, you got your monthly income, you got your expenses, you got your savings. So all you basically do is you go over here and you put in, so for instance, you get paid 2 times a month, you put in whatever your paycheck's gonna be. If you got a part-time job, you put that in. If you get child support, boom, you put that in. You put whatever your income is. So whenever you put in as your income right here, it's gonna show up over here. So let's say for instance here, right? You got $3,000 a month that you make per paycheck, for instance, right? You will see as you put these numbers in here, right? It automatically updates and adjusts right here. Then you go right over here, so you got your monthly income. Then you go in right here. You put in whatever your monthly expenses are, right? You can adjust these different categories here. And let's say, for instance, if your mortgage might be, say, for instance, $2,500, you're going to see that these numbers up here is going to automatically update. Boom, they automatically update. So if you look at this right here, this 92% right here represents the amount of expenses that you're using against your income. So if you do this for March and you know what your income is, what your expenses are, then guys, I promise you, man, you're gonna feel a lot better and know that you're in control and you have more discipline over your money. Even if you go right here and hit in your monthly savings, if you plan on spending, I mean, say saving $50 a month, you will see right here in this category, Boom, that right there, Judge, right? You might want to go and save the second half of the month. You might want to save $150. Boom, that's going to adjust right there. So you got your monthly income, your expenses, you got your savings, and then boom, your cash balance is what's remaining between your 6,400 in income, the delta right here on expenses, and the savings. Then you know, okay, boom, this is my cash balance, right? Very simple, easy to use, but every month I highly encourage for people to do this right here. And I highly encourage you if you want it. If you don't have it yet, shoot me a text. I'll get it to you, email it to you. But we got to be able to take advantage of this managing our money here. All right. So I just kind of want to give you some scenarios of just some individuals and the impact on the Trump administration. And guys, here in the federal government, there's a rift, a reduction in force. It happened, and when President Clinton was president, and it's a massive amount of jobs that the federal government is looking to cut. And so, if you in the government right about now, you know that you've been working from home possibly, and Trump has said that, hey, look, you got to go back into the office. Many of you guys don't probably know I work for the federal government. Some people guys think I just work. I do this full time. I don't. Uh, so I do work a 9 to 5 too. For the government, so my job is I write and manage contracts for the army. And so I'm impacted by this here because I was working home twice a week. Now got to go back into the office full time, but that won't change as far as what we're doing here. I'm gonna continue to keep you educated and empowered. But it might not be during the day. Sometime it'll be in the evening and on the weekends. But you guys know me. I'm passionate about this. I'm gonna continue to keep just putting a lot of financial information out and keeping you guys aware on what's going on. But um, does anyone have any questions for me? Just kind of want to come on and just talk about what's going on and help you guys be vigilant, prepared, and for some reality checks that may be happening in March. Go ahead, Lamoya.
Hey, Sherwin. So, thank you for all the information. I wanted to know with the temperature of everything going on right now, is it wiser to pay down debt or to keep some money in savings? Like with extra funds right now, should we be like still chucking away at debt or should we try to make sure like we're establishing a healthier savings? What would you say
Wow.
about that?
Wow, Lamoy, that's a very, very excellent question. How I will answer that would be is let's say for instance, right, if you don't have $1,000 in emergency fund, which a lot of people don't, I would focus more on savings right about now because let's say for instance, if you did lose your job, then you're going to be in a situation where it's going to be even more a difficult situation because first of all, you don't have any income coming in, and then second of all, you don't have any really like emergency savings per se, right? Whereas if you had the debt in itself, right? I mean, you could probably call the credit card companies and say, "Hey, I lost my job," and then maybe they can work some special programs for you. Maybe kind of pause it. You can negotiate. But man, cash is king. And so I would say, even if you do have $1,000 in emergency fund, I mean, you should be targeting at least having saved at least 3 months worth of your expenses. So just put yourself and just think about it, right? If you was to lose your job, how long could you go without a paycheck? And if you can't go without one paycheck, then it's a reality check to say I got to start spending less on these liabilities, and I need to start putting more towards my savings account, and not just in your bank account. I mean, your Bank of America, no Wells Fargo. I'm talking about either an Ally or either in Fidelity Cash Management that's paying 4%, where that money could be working for you. Now, if you guys know other high yield savings accounts by any means, but it's your savings should not be in any traditional bank account. And Lamoy, I'm gonna get back to your question, but another example. There's a lady in Atlanta, wealthy lady. I'm talking about houses and everything, but got money in a credit union that's not paying anything. And so we advised for her to we're starting to transition that money over into Fidelity Cash Management and get the 4%. So Lamoy, that's a great question. whether pay down debt or savings. For me, I would focus on the savings if you don't have a large or big nest egg right about now. And if it's $25, $50, $75, whatever it is, focus on savings because guys, I'm gonna just tell you right about now, President Trump, he don't care about your financial household right now. He rich. He taking care of his colleagues and he trying to cut spending, and he trying to bring manufacturing back into the U.S. And so his plan is long term. So if you lose your job, guess what? He ain't spending extra money towards these programs for African Americans dependent on these government programs. He ain't finna put extra money towards that. He cutting costs in that. So if you ain't preparing yourself, then you putting yourself in further in a hole. And if anything, guys, we learned during COVID people weren't financially ready and they got caught with their pants down and expecting the government to give them a stimulus check. So I'm just telling you now, it's 2 months in into his administration, his thing is about to get real. So great question, Lamoy. You have any follow-ons to that?
Well, I just while you were talking, I just thought about like equity because we have equity in both of our homes. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, worst case scenario, because like my our game plan is is like to pay down debt, stuff like that. But then I was okay, worst case scenario, if either one of us were to lose a job, I mean, we would still be good with one income, but it won't be ideal. But then I also have the real estate. I have backup plans, so it's kind of like uh, I'm just trying to see what's the smarter way. But I'll probably just talk to you off air about it
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. You know, Lamoy, I was telling this young lady last night too, right? Because she's had her house since 2017. The one I'm talking about is 48, which is only 70,000 in the retirement program and 30,000 in cash and investments outside of that. Well, she do have a house bought since 2017, has some equity into it. If she wanted to take money out, she couldn't. I'm gonna tell you why. Because she's unemployed because the lender's always going to say, okay, look, well, how are you going to pay this loan back? And if you don't have no employment coming in, they ain't going to approve you for to take equity out. Now, I told her, I said, worst case scenario, you don't have no more money. I know you love your house, but you're going to have to sell your house. You're probably sitting on $200,000 plus in equity on your house. At the end of the day, that's the last thing you got to do. That's what you have to do. Because if not, you don't have no other option. So even if we are thinking about maybe taking equities out house, if you do lose your job, and this is not to scare people, but I just want to be able to be a wake up and reality check. It's gonna be hard to get an equity loan because you don't have employment. Or let's say, for instance, Lamoy, if your case, I don't think this would be you guys' case, but if you was married and one couple loses their job, then you might not be able to get as much out in the particular equity of the home because you got one income coming in. But Lamoy, I think you guys will certainly be good because some of the things that you guys already have set up. But yeah, we'll definitely speak on the one-on-one. All right, very great question. Any
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm just trying
yeah.
to
Hey, Lamoy, from what you
just
text
think
me,
ahead. Yeah,
yeah, what you text me today, I love the game plan that y'all on. So let's make it happen on the one-on-one, and
yeah,
we'll definitely go from there.
yeah. Okay, thank you, Sherwin.
My pleasure. All right. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, anything? Now, I will say this. As you check your investment accounts, right? February, historically, is a down month after post election. But guys, we're dealing with a president that will say anything, and he got dummy 2.0 with him and Elon Musk. Shouldn't say that. But they just erratic. They say whatever. So there's going to be a lot of volatility based on decisions that they make, the things that they do, and that's going to impact your retirement accounts and investment accounts. But should you be worried? Absolutely not, guys, because I'm just going to tell you this right here. Like the month of February, I mean, you look at the S&P 500 down 2%, but you know the way I see that is financial freedom is on sale. I'm going to repeat myself again. When I say that, financial freedom is on sale. So these are opportunities where now you can buy a appreciating asset. Appreciating that means that it might be a little hit now, right? But over time, it's going to go up and it's an asset. I was just sharing with you guys about QQQ on the WhatsApp group page and on the Facebook page. It's a great opportunity to buy. Today, QQQ is at $500. But you know, in Fidelity, you can buy it for any amount. Just during COVID, I was sharing today with a guy I'm on a van pool that I drive home with. Just during COVID, that same QQ was $178. QQQ is up 143% over the last 5 years. And all QQQ is 100 technology companies inside of one basket. And we already know how strong technology is. So with your investment accounts, this month, a lot of red, but we're okay. And I can promise you this here. Trump will not allow the stock market go too much in red because most of his colleagues that he reports to and he's around, guess what? They all wealthy, not because they went out there and driving that GLE, because they driving that Mercedes SUV truck, or they driving that Cadillac truck, or they going shopping every weekend, or they got this jewelry, these gold teeth in their mouth, or the whatever they call it, these guys wearing, right? Or they spending 60% of their money on liabilities and the other 40% just on bills and living paycheck to paycheck. These ain't the tech guys is right. They invest in their money in the real estate, they invest their money in the business, and most important, they got their money invested in that stock market. So he ain't finna let this thing get too deep in red. Now he's coming in, and what's happening is the market is very uncertain right about now on his plan. But once things kind of settle down, I expect the market to be up anywhere from 12, 15% this year. It was up 25% last year. It was up 26% in 2023. Our favorite company, Nvidia. Since 2020, guys, it's been up 100. It's been up over 100% every year dating back to 2020, with the exception of 2022. And this year, Nvidia is down right now 13%. It was down 8% today. It was a great buying opportunity. All right. It had a great quarterly earnings report. It's a great time to buy it because if it's $120 now, I could guarantee you by the end of this year, Nvidia could easily be 160, 170. And you take that difference between 120 and 170, that might be, say, 60%. That might be 50%. And think about where it will be 4 years from now, 5 years from now, right? You guys understand that because you've made a bunch of money. Um, so just stay vigilant, guys. Get this budget just text me. I'll email it to you. Some of you guys have already text me, so we're gonna get it out to you. We got any more questions here before we close out? Any more questions? So all I'm saying is, before you think about buying them shoes, them Jordans, them Beyonce tickets, right? Look, man, if you ain't got 1 month worth of expenses saved up, man, that them going to see Beyonce ain't even worth it. You buying them season tickets to see the Dallas Cowboys or the San Diego Chargers or whatever your team, it ain't even worth it, right? It's not even worth it, man. So just want to keep you guys encouraged, uplifted. And this is just a stay woke call. Stay vigilant in March. Stay more disciplined than ever, man. Because you gotta want it more for yourself than anybody else. And you don't want to see yourself in a situation and say, okay, maybe if February wasn't the best month, and then you carry that same momentum over into March. No, man, let February be what February gonna be, and say, you know what, this is gonna be my last year being broke. Man, I don't care if you wake up every single morning and you go in your particular bathroom and the first thing that you see, if you have to write it on that thing to say this is my last year being broke, because you know what, that set the tone and trajectory for your day. Say, man, let this be the last year, man, that I be broke. Let this be the last year that I don't put no money towards my savings account. We got a $2,500 savings challenge. Man, participate in that every single week and put money in there, right? Because if something happens, then you're going to be prepared. You're going to be battle tested and things of that nature. So, and Lamoya, here's the thing with you with real estate. If you own real estate and your people, your tenants that lose their job, this is another reason why I like HUD, because it's recession proof. I got 3 tenants right about now. That's on Section 8 on HUD that don't work and ain't haven't worked in the last year.
Right. Yep. I definitely love that. because it's scary times. So that just is a little extra cushion.
Yeah. So guess what? HUD, they gonna pay that rent every single month. And Lamoya, as you know this right here, if HUD don't pay you by Monday, they gonna probably pay you by Wednesday. HUD ain't never normally late.
Right.
All right. So guys, thank you guys for joining in. It's gonna be recorded. So maybe if you missed the front, maybe you missed the back, it will be recorded. I have it on the YouTube page tomorrow. Guys, go if you have not subscribed to the LesWin Financial YouTube page. Every time we do a session like this, it's always gonna be recorded. I'm always put on the YouTube page. I don't advertise the LesWin Financial YouTube page outside of this particular community because this is what you guys pay for in your monthly subscription. So I don't care about having a big subscribing list. It's not for everybody. It's for the Let's Win financial community. That's you as a paying subscriber, right? You have your one-on-ones. We have these weekly phone calls. We set your financial plans, the maintenance, and things of that nature. So access to our Facebook and our WhatsApp pages. So that's all part of your subscription. All right, guys. So hey, be prepared. Let's march into next month. Very vigilant, money conscious, more disciplined than ever, saving our money, paying down debts at the same time. But I will focus on more on saving money. So in the event something happens to your job, at least you got that there. And then let's just be to the point to say, well, we can look back and say March was one of the best months of 2025 because I had the mindset to realize that some of the things that I did in February and January may have not worked out. But March was the month that really, man, was the breakthrough month for me to really see the vision that I really been seeing for myself financially. And that's what I'm here for as your accountability partner. So let's do it and continue to be encouraged, guys. All right. Looking for you guys to have a great, great March. All right. As always, guys, be well, be blessed. And as always, let's continue to win. All right, guys. Have a great night.